At you live. This is Total Spotfest. What'd you say? A feet sandwich?
I said a cock meat sandwich.
I just heard.
I thought you said feet sandwich as well.
I thought you said feet sandwich. I was like, whoa, we know Jamie's kink. Okay, let's back up here. Thanks for coming, guys.
Feet are disgusting, for the record.
Correct. This is why me and Jamie get along, because we're logical human beings. Okay, I mean, hey, you do you out there, but don't tell us about it. This is Total Spotfest. We actually talk about wrestling over here. Down there, we got Austin Reddick. He's a wrestler. Jamie, JJ right here. We're not wrestlers, but we are marks, and we are going to come at you here for the next hour and a half or so. If this is your first time here, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Please hit the subscribe button down below. You can see us every Wednesday. Hit the thumbs up. Give us a big like. It does help us out quite a bit. We have a very special beginning to the show here, by the way, folks. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, how you doing this evening? How are you doing?
Good.
Doing well, man. Doing well.
And then Jamie stumbled upon something while out shopping for them groceries that he has not bothered to even sample as of yet. He wants to do it live, and I agree wholeheartedly. Jamie, would you mind showing the people what product we are discussing? If
Bob
you're
Ross energy drink.
Yeah, you're thinking to yourself, is that an energy drink with Bob Ross's beautiful face and afro on it? You are damn right.
Bob Ross Positivity energy drink.
Positive energy drink.
You couldn't see the pop top on the can, so it looked like one of those Jesus candles, but Bob Ross instead, which is what I would buy.
I'm 100% confident there is a Bob Ross Jesus candle out there. There has to be.
He's a patron saint of painting. That's all I know.
So Austin and I got our liquid deaths here, but Jamie, let's give a first taste, very first ever taste. Let's see how the Bob Ross energy drink goes.
So with my softball team, we quote Bob Ross all the time. Like if a pitcher makes a pitch and it wasn't exactly where we wanted it, but it ended up being a strike, we call it a happy accident, which is definitely a Bob Ross saying, right? So this is where this all originated with me, and why I saw it. But obviously, you see a can like this out in the wild, you have to purchase it. It's just a thing. So, without further ado, it has a very bubbly, gummy smell.
Okay,
we're gonna give it a try. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, the aftertaste, dude. That aftertaste is so gross. I mean, I'm still gonna drink it because I'm dedicated to get into the bit. But
now that you showed your hand, you got to finish that by the end of the show.
Oh, he's. Oh my God. So what does it taste like?
Battery acid. Oh. So it's got like a hint of blue raspberry, but it's like flat blue raspberry soda with a tinge of rust. It's probably the best way I can say it. Like metal. A metal taste. I was expecting the best, and my expectations have not been let down here. Fletch is a part of this.
What's up, Fletch?
Proto Alpha. I love the Proto Alpha. That's a great name.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know if we could top that, Austin. I think we should end the show.
Yeah, I don't know if we could top that. Like, there was some good wrestling, but not as good as watching Jamie try the Bob Ross positive energy drink.
Does he even
Don't have Bob Ross hanging out with us.
Does it have
Whenever we get negative, Bob Ross will just come out.
Bob Ross gonna come in with his nasty ass energy drink. All right.
All right, guys.
Well, let's take that happy little accident and move on into another one. Like, hey, guess what happened tonight? We got back to somewhat of normalcy with Dynamite.
We did. We really did. It was a good show too.
I mean,
it's all night of wrestling.
Yeah, kind of back to the typical format, regular time. No more marathon shows going on here. So we're 17 days out from All In. Okay, little over 2 weeks away. Buttoning up the show. We already know like all the big storylines that, and even the ones that don't need to be pushed, they still like to push them. So let's just get to it. So, of course, the show begins with Carmen Sandiego. Wait. Tony Storm walking in.
Tony Sandiego.
Tony Sandiego. And I fully support whoever was in the front row role-playing as Carmen Tony Sandiego. 100%. You know.
That's great.
That was good. So she's walking on in. You know, she got a little spicy on Collision. Did you guys catch that?
I didn't catch Collision this past week.
She said motherfucker.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did see that on Twitter. Okay. Yes. Yes, I did see that. And I am grateful.
I mean, if there's anybody who can get away with whatever the hell they want to do, is definitely Tony Storm. So Tony's coming in. She gets jumped by Mercedes. Mercedes pulls her out, and it's just again, why? You know?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
This one did feature a little bit of Mina at the end, and of course they announced later on the show next week Mina's going to go up for the TBS title next week on the 300th episode, 300th episode of Dynamite against Mercedes Moné. Any chance at all, that Mercedes drops that belt?
There's a chance.
If it's at all, I'm going to say yes. There is a non-zero chance, but it's probably between 0 and 1%. Like there's the slightest chance. I don't see any way they do it though.
I'm with you. Although, as soon as I saw it announced, I go, that would be fantastic if they actually did that.
I'd love to see Tony come out and cost Mercedes the title.
It would add heat to that match. It would get the belt off of Mercedes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mercedes does win at All In. At least she's not hogging all the titles, Jamie. I don't know. I mean, we know they're not going to do it, but
I have a better chance of enjoying Bob Ross positive energy drink available to you at your local stores than that happening.
Where did you get that? Was that like a Dollar General thing? Seriously, I am like fascinated with this energy drink.
So, Michael's.
That sounds about right.
It's just so random. We're at Michael's or something.
I mean, the craft store has a Painter's energy drink. It kind of checks, but
I knew I was, and of course it was warm. It wasn't cold. This is cold because I can't drink anything warm. But it's
right.
Like, I already knew I was in store for, gentlemen. But I thought, let's just do this journey together, and I regret everything and nothing.
Oh my god!
It's good because any energy drink that isn't a brand you recognize is always trash.
Yeah.
It's just cheap private label. They just slap a sticker on it, and it is like the worst shit you could ever drink.
Yeah. This reminds me of drinking Milwaukee's Best Light for the very first time when I was a kid. I mean, I ended up loving it, but yeah.
That reminds me a lot. So, quick anecdote here. I swear we're going to get back to wrestling, y'all. So, back in college, In Colombia, where I went to school at, right? So in Colombia, they used to have the glass deposit rule, law. So you had it was an extra however many cents for glass containers. So a 12 pack of cans always was cheaper than a 12 pack of bottles, so on and so forth, right? I say that because there was a liquor store down the street from my fraternity house that had this beer called Rhinelander. Okay, it was from somewhere in Wisconsin, a lager, I think. That's all we knew about it. There was this like angry deer on it, and it was, and this was in the early 2000s. It was $9 for a case of returnable bottles of Rhinelander.
Bottles
of bottles of the more expensive container because of the tax, $9, and of course we being masochists that we are, we're like, okay. Fun fact, I have never drank Rhinelander cold because they didn't even bother to put it in the coolers there. They just put a bunch out on the floor and said, if you want it, knock yourself the F out, right? So we would get a couple cases before football Saturday and literally just like leave them in the room, come out, put them outside of a car and sit there, drink piss warm Rhinelander all day. Not terrible. Tried it cold once. Horrendous.
Interesting.
sounds
Who knew?
amazing.
That's interesting. Did y'all know that for a short time, PBR made their own whiskey?
What?
No.
Yeah.
What?
This had to have been 2019 because I was writing TV for Rocky Mountain Pro at the time. And I brought a bottle, and me and our production guy, Stevie, we would always sit at the table in Gorilla, and I would produce the show, and he was running music and stuff. And we were just passing this bottle back and forth, taking swigs. And it was the most disgusting alcohol I've ever tasted. Like, I went to the liquor store. I saw it advertised on social media. I go to the liquor store. I'm like, do you have the PBR whiskey? And the guy's like, I mean, we do, but you don't want that. I was like, you understand. I need it. Because I was expecting it to not be good, which is weird because I love PBR. But first of all, it was clear. It was clear whiskey, which whiskey should not be. And it had the sting of grain alcohol, but didn't get you nearly as drunk. Like, it was the absolute worst alcohol that has ever been made. But we put a dent in that bottle.
Was it actually whiskey, though? I mean, if it
was legally whiskey.
Whiskey. I just looked it up.
Yeah. I don't know if they still make it. Probably not. It was probably a war crime to continue to produce.
It was probably bottled.
Buy for $20. So fun fact, I see one for $20. I see one for $100. I see one for $75. I see one for $22.49. I don't know the difference between the $100 one and the $20. Looks like the exact same bottle.
Oh my god! All right, so everybody in chat, give us your alcoholic or non-alcoholic horrible beverage experiences as we go along here. That is definitely the theme for tonight's show. Apparently,
they still make it.
Wait, what?
Do they? I have not seen it.
PabstBlueRibbon.com. It's out there.
Pabst.
You can find it. You can find it in Colorado, Florida, Washington, Illinois, Wisconsin, Oregon, and Texas.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Next time I go to Triple L, I'll have to be on the lookout for PBR whiskey.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, and then at the next show in Kansas City, we got to take shots of it. Yes.
I mean, I can't not try it now. I have to try. I hate whiskey, but I might like it. Shit.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So
let's get back to wrestling.
Let's get back. So all right. So Mina Mercedes next week. Okay. And then you get the Young Bucks come out, flexing their EVP might, and it's like, oh hey, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland. You know that match you got second hour? It's actually right now. So out comes Will Ospreay, kayfabe, still putting on his gear, and Swerve's still coming out, putting on his t-shirt, going up against Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Okay. Match itself was fine. It's always, hey, if your show opens with Will Ospreay, you're doing a good show. You know, Blake looked really good. Lee has come. I want to give Lee props. Lee has come a long way from when he had. I mean, he still doesn't have much charisma, but his in-ring chops have expanded a lot since the pandemic when he was just kind of another guy, right? So he's actually.
Yeah, sure.
He's put the work in. He looks good out there, you know. But I mean, it's Swerve and Ospreay. A giant salvo. Of course, we get the official challenge afterwards for a match at All In. And is it going to be a a cage match, a Texas Death Match, a whatever? No, Jamie. It's going to be a EVP titles on the line match.
We knew that there was going to be a stipulation. I think we all agree that it had to have some kind of stipulation.
And that's
honestly,
fine.
Putting the EVP titles on the line was not in my bingo card of titles to be defended in all
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It's interesting. It's different.
It's different. Do you guys like it, though? I mean, because, I mean, will and Swerve really do anything with an EVP title, do you think? Or is it just to knock down the Bucks a peg more than anything?
I mean, there's things you could do it. So you could certainly, story-wise, carry that. You could have Will and Swerve appoint someone as a general manager type figure, some kind of authority on the show.
Christopher Daniels.
Maybe even bring Christopher Daniels back, or any number of people. There's no shortage of, I wouldn't even say legends. They don't even have to be like that old, but there's no shortage of names out there that people would like to see that don't necessarily have to wrestle regularly. And I think that was a fun thing about early AEW, where going into the Rampage main event, you had Mark Henry every week telling you, it's time for the main event. I think them appointing Jeff Jarrett in that position. I mean, that's always been my answer to everything, but I think Jeff Jarrett would be great in that role.
He actually would.
Yeah. For many reasons, he would fit that. So there's stuff you could do with it, but either way, it just adds stakes to this match. Because at the end, I mean, the match is going to slap no matter what. But with nothing on the line, there's really no consequence for winning and losing. It's just a good match you want to see. So now there's stakes on it. I'm always for that.
Yeah, consequences are always... We've talked about this so many times on the show. Like, good matches are just good matches. Like, we aren't this going to be a good match. We all agree there, right? To your point. But having that consequence on there, having stakes to it, just makes it that much more attractive. Now, it puts a seed of doubt in me. It's like, okay, that means Swerve and Ospreay are not going to win, because there's no way the Bucks would lose here. But then it's like, man, just think about the story of them losing and hitting rock bottom. You know, like, they were just insufferable, just a-holes now, and then they lose everything. Like, they could have a redemption arc too with the fans. So it's like, I love this idea. More and more, the more I think about it, yes, please.
I mean, it's really the only way you can go with it. You don't have to turn them face either, too. They can just be the down on their luck Bucks, you know, and that's almost a better story. Because I mean, you beaten into a pulp the EVP thing, the Casilla thing, ever since Punk left, right? So
yeah,
this banjo has played its string pretty hard. It's time to add another one to it, and I really like, even more than whatever you can do with Ospreay and Swerve, right? Potential, general managers, however they want to handle this, right? Or even if they say no one should be in charge there, we, appoint these general managers and they dissolve it or whatever, right? I think the other side of this coin is so much more interesting, right? The powerless Bucks.
Be like a happy accident.
You look like remember when Being the Elite had Sour Man,
Sour Boy, yeah.
Sour Boy. It's your face every time you take a drink unintentionally turns into that. So
I look like Robert De Niro every time I
so that's going on. Yeah, quick little video, because on Saturday, you also had the return of one Mr. Kota Ibushi to AEW. Man looking more shredded than a Julian salad. Yes, I stole your line. I don't care. But my God, so he's got a match coming up. And around back, you go to the Bucks again, okay? And they start talking about how Swerve and Ospreay, how stupid you are, all this stuff. Immediately interrupted by Okada, kind of this, united front and everything. And behind Okada, he's got Takeshita and he's got Roppongi Vice. They have a quick little, hey, remember me segment there. And, the goal is to destroy Kenny Omega, so they're fine with Okada doing his thing with Don Callis. Everybody leaves except for Takeshita, where Jamie gets all perked up on the edge of his seat because Takeshita goes to him and just says, remember, this is temporary. It's happening, right? It's the slow, inevitable turn of Takeshita is happening, right, Austin?
I mean, you can't fight it. Like, you could hear the pop in the crowd through the walls when he said that. Who doesn't want to see Takeshita finally go on that run? Like, it's time. He's undeniable. I would imagine in the next 2 to 3 years, he kind of takes that top spot as just the best pro wrestler in the world.
Okay. Do you feel like with the way the picture is now, though, Jamie, when you're going to have Okada, Omega on top of Swerve, Ospreay, Hangman, potentially MJF, do you feel like he fits into that at all, or is it still too soon to move him all the way up that ladder?
Right now, yes. I think the obvious play, he's going to take that unified title off of Okada. That makes so much sense. He's the guy to take it off of him. And then, because at that point, Omega will be in, a higher level. And yes, the play is him, because then you can put Okada in the main picture and it just creates those levels. And then for the next year and a half, he'll be there. And then somebody will dethrone him to be able to put him in that top rung with all the others. And I personally believe that's where he belongs already. But I see the seeds now, finally seeing the seeds of Takeshita growing.
Yeah, because they haven't really been overtly suggesting this, although this dais has, specifically 2/3 of this dais has been suggesting this for a while. They haven't really been even insinuating anything until tonight. So kind of refreshing that.
I do got to disagree on one point, though. Yeah, I don't think Takeshita takes that title off Okada. I think he takes off Omega.
Oh. Okay.
I think because he's gone from after All In until sometime in August for the G1. Oh, yeah, I think Omega probably wins it All In. And then once Takeshita comes back, you can do Takeshita and Okada. I think he ends up beating Omega for that title, though.
Do you think he splits from Callis in route? Because, I don't think he has to be a heel to beat Omega. I think Omega's the type of guy that he can.
Yeah, I think it works better if Takeshita's a face.
I do too.
I think if Takeshita, you turn him face during the Okada feud, and then he beats Kenny Omega clean for that title, you've got a megastar on your hands.
Yeah. And you don't even, because again, to your point, you don't. I think it works better face specifically because you have the whole young boy thing as well too, right? Because wasn't he Kenny's young boy for a little bit?
No.
I think he might have been years and years ago. That sounds familiar.
I think he was in DDT. I honestly think he was just for a little bit, but anyway. So other side of this coin, because Kenny is in a hospital or not clear, whatever. So you get Trent Beretta, Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi's in-ring return to AEW against a somewhat familiar foe, and you got a co-host over there with you.
Yeah.
In Trent Beretta, but it's good to see Kota Ibushi healthy back in the ring. 100%.
Agreed. Most healthy he's looked, and honestly, like hot take is his best match in AEW so far.
I mean, the initial run was not good. I mean, it was
Yeah.
good because he was here, but wrestling-wise, not so much.
As funny as the spot was, he looked a lot better than when he was riding a bicycle down the ring and booping people with a pipe.
I still love that spot so much.
I love it in theory. In execution, it was a little too silly, but it's so great.
So Kota gets the victory, and then out comes Omega. Jamie changes his pants as they do a stare-off, no words spoken, but they do announce immediately that next week, Ibushi...
You mean Okada, not Omega.
Oh, sorry, I said Okada. Sorry. Okada, Omega.
That's a happy little accident.
That's a happy little accident. Out comes the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada. I'll call him by his driver's license name.
It's on his passport.
Is that what it was? Passport? Whatever.
Yeah.
Identification name. But no, they do a little stare down, and we get the announcement that next week we get Okada, Ibushi. I mean, it's not 2020, but did you either of you have on your bingo card in the year of our Lord 2025? We're going to see on free American television Okada Ibushi.
I did not, but I'm not super familiar with Ibushi's work.
So, allow me.
oh, Jamie, please. The stage has arrived for you.
Yes. So, Kota Ibushi is Japanese Kenny Omega with a little less charisma. That's probably the best way I could put him.
Right on.
Basically the same moveset, they're similar builds. Like literally, when they became tag team partners of the Golden Lovers, it made so much sense because they're basically the same guy.
Yeah.
Just one had a little bit more charisma than the other. And I'm not even saying like Kenny oozes charisma either. But he's got more charisma. But Okada versus Ibushi, I didn't think I for one totally forgot about Kota Ibushi was just even around because I thought he was just staying back and he was healing up, and next thing you know, he's back and it's great. So yes, please. Yes, please.
So Ibushi,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so Ibushi had two signature matches really with Okada. The 2020 match is one of those like 85-star unbelievable ones, right? They met at 2021 Wrestle Kingdom, I want to say. It was actually a title match. So those are the most two notable ones. The only issue that Ibushi had around that time is that in Japan, there was Kenny Omega, of course, right? But you also had peak, well, not even peak, but you had peaking Okada and you had peak Tanahashi, which was...
Yeah.
I mean, Tanahashi was a fucking god in the early 2020s, late teens and early 20s, man.
Now he walks like Matt Hardy.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest knock I would ever give Ibushi is just that you're not gonna win. I guess. I mean, yeah, your charisma doesn't overcome either one of those guys at that time. But the 2020 Wrestle Kingdom match is the one to go back and watch if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna find that one and watch it because I know enough about Ibushi. I know he's a big deal. I just have not seen much of his work, so I'm gonna have to go check that match out.
He's a Japanese Kenny Omega. Jamie said it best.
Nothing not to like there.
I mean,
the best comp I can give you.
I mean, that's if compared to Kenny Omega, that's a good comp. Moxley had a quick little promo. He's going to destroy Hangman. Great, cool, awesome, right? And then AR Fox has a little interview backstage where Ricochet inserts himself and then inserts AR Fox unknowingly into a tag team match coming up right immediately. Ricochet, AR Fox versus Jet Speed. Love the name, hate the name. What do you think?
It's fine. Don't love it, don't hate it.
Yeah.
I just make a tag teams out of singles guys again, but whatever.
Actually, I don't mind it here because I don't know what you do with either of them as singles guys right now, as congested as. You can funnel them into the TNT picture, but you got Adam Cole and the Callis family, which we'll get to later. So, like, I kind of like them being a tag team, especially because you don't have babyface tag teams right now.
That's
they
true.
Desperately need it. They have them and the Outrunners. That's basically it.
And it's a good spot to give them TV time because they both need TV time. I mean, Speedball's so over, it's not even funny. Kevin Knight is amazing, so it's good to have him in there, you know. But, yeah, so Jet Speed versus Ricochet and AR Fox. Ricochet is basically treating it like AR Fox's tryout, you know, and subsequently abandons him, naturally, which makes me, in my devilish mind in Fantasy Booking Island, go, I think AR Fox is going to join Ricochet. Nothing tonight would convince you of that, and that's why I'm choosing it.
I think that's a bit of a waste. And I hate to say that because I like AR Fox just fine, but they've put, like, wasn't he, he was with the Mogul Embassy for a while.
No, he was with Swerve, and Swerve's a little offshoot, and that was when they went and beat the shit out of Nick Wayne in his dad's garage.
Yes.
And that was amazing, and then they immediately got rid of that. And I was like, why? Because that was great.
Fly or something.
Like, I think AR Fox is a great guy to throw out there when you have, like, debuting stars and you just want to get a great match out of somebody, but I don't think AR Fox, the character, is over enough or ever going to be over enough to be worth this spot with Ricochet. You want to get someone that you're going to elevate in that spot.
Well,
and I think he is what he is, and it's great, but, like, I don't think it's needed there.
And my argument there, Jamie, is that because of that, he's a good henchman, which is why I think it makes sense to put him with Ricochet.
Yeah, but you also want somebody who's already got a little name recognition, so it'd be like a wow factor. And if AR went there, it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But that's the way I feel about it. I feel like it has to be somebody who is, people know their name, but don't necessarily have them in anything. Top Flight, great example. One, Max, the best wrestler alive, caster, just screams at me about it. There's others out there too. I mean, if they re-sign Private Party, I think that'd be an awesome play for Private Party to go heel with him right here. I think it just makes a lot of sense. It's just
Private Party would
you
be
need
perfect.
something like that.
I mean, I still like my Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, thought.
Yeah, they'd be great too. Like, that's the thing. There's just so many better options than AR Fox.
Okay, all right. Just trying to throw that out there. So
I just love seeing a face turn heel. Nothing makes me happier than when a face turns.
I know. It's the happiest accident of all. So Jet Speed wins, and then they leaving up the ramp and get met by Tony Schiavone with white shoes on, who's going to give him an interview, and they they give you your first Seattle Sonics reference of the night, and immediately call out the Hurt Syndicate, okay, which brings out the Hurt Syndicate, who obliterates both of them very hard. They hurt people, and they definitely did, okay. And then Hurt Syndicate goes to the ring to do a promo after they have hurt said people. And MVP says that if Jet Speed can stand up, that they might get a shot at All In. So they're going to get a shot at All In. We know that. So then Briscoe comes out afterwards. Him and MJF have our surprising chant of the night. Just start barking at each other, and it's kind of like the same old, this and that, until Mark Briscoe talks about how MJF's walking around with this little kosher pickle in his pants for all these years. And okay, I don't know what this did for either of them, but He's got a little Jew dick, apparently. So, yeah, there's that.
I mean, the crowd popped. It was low-hanging fruit, but, like...
Literally.
One, there's some pretty sizable kosher pickles out there. Like, there's dirty ones. So it's not that big of a dig. I do appreciate, though, that MJF sold it. Because this is what we need more from MJF is... Shots getting to him a little bit. And this is like the perfect thing for him to just sell something, react to it, not just be cooler and smarter than everybody. But backing up to MVP's promo, because he didn't just say if they could stand up, they'd get a shot. First, he dared any team to come out and challenge them. And then when nobody did, he was like, even you, if you can get up on your feet. Like, I felt like that buried Speedball and Kevin Knight just a little bit. Like, yeah, if it's gonna go to them anyway, avoid the call out and just go right at them. It's like, hey, if you want more than this, meet us in Texas in 17 days. Just more burial of the tag team division, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is just to follow up on that point. MVP didn't even say any babyface tag team. He just said any tag team. FTR are in the building because we saw a promo. Like, why would they not show up and be like, yeah, we'll fight you for those titles? Like, I just had to dig that point in because it's so fucking stupid.
Well, it is, but they're protecting FTR from this, because we know that the long play will always be, and should be, eventually you're going to have FTR versus Young Bucks again. At a big stage in a year and a half or 2 years. And that's fine with me.
I'm not even saying you have to put FTR in now. Just don't do the open challenge thing because now you're making every other tag team you have look stupid.
Well, it's the same note they've played for the past 6 weeks, Jamie. We're looking for competition, but you beat up everybody on your way to the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trope. It's old as time, but you still have good tag teams out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's still some circulating that one will finally answer the call. They have to be a face at this point. And like we said earlier, their tag team division with faces is just atrocious.
Yeah.
Name a solid top tier face tag team.
I mean, Jet Speed's probably the top one.
You know who they should turn face? MXM.
Oh, please.
Oh.
I think MXN would have all the hype the Outrunners do, but even more because one of them's an actual giant and they don't just look like they're going to get the crap kicked out of them every time. Like,
hey, don't talk shit on the Outrunners.
MXM I like the Outrunners just fine, but I think MXM would be an even better version of that as a face tag.
I agree. I hate to say it, but I totally agree.
MXM.
I can have meat tornadoes or finger touches. Like, come on now.
MXM would be gold. What was gold in my eyes was the fact that we had 2 matches in a row, okay? Both 4-way matches, and going to be, because they basically announced it there, for the number 1 spot in the men's and the women's casino gauntlet at All In.
Thanks for listening, Tony.
He listens to the show. We all know this. So
okay, into existence.
It made too much sense for it not to happen. I mean, it really, it's like, absolutely. He heard that. He goes, you know what? I don't know why I wouldn't do that. So men's match was first because you had Mark Briscoe feuding and stuff. So you had Briscoe, Takeshita, Bandito, and Roderick Strong. Boys, this was my match of the night. Wasn't even close.
It should have been.
This was so good.
Like,
I mean, there it froze. All right. No, 42 minutes. Okay.
We are frozen. We be frozen.
Whoops. There we go. And we should be back. You guys talk. Make sure I got sound again.
Oh, we're back.
Back from the nightly freeze.
Yep, we're back.
I have no idea. I fucked with. I went to all.
I
was on all these Mac forums all weekend. I was doing all this stuff. I fucked with the bit rate, all these things that everybody said because I'm gonna figure this out. One way or another, I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Well, it does it more like sooner now. Like before, it was at the hour mark.
It was at the hour.
And now it's 42 minutes. So whatever you did went the wrong way.
Well, last week we did it like at 25 minutes, which is really weird. So
well, that's fair. That's fair. So you did get better, but not all the way where we were.
I'm not all the way better. I'm gonna figure it out. Luckily, it's just for a quick second. Okay, cool. All right, so one thing with watching Toho Spotfest, you can count us every week. There's gonna be a spot where it's like, oh, hey, it's bathroom break time. Cool. So
would you say that was a happy accident?
Sure, we're gonna go with that. All right, so
is it an accident if it happens every week?
I know it's a running bit at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a happy little tree. So, match is fantastic. Takeshita, oh my god, like, and there were a couple of sequences back and forth. We all talked about Roderick Strong. You got, no personality, although the whole neck thing was great when he was doing that. But this is where he shines. This is fantastic. Bandito is Bandito. I mean, yeah, everything was great. But Briscoe wins, takes the #1 spot in the men's gauntlet. Surprised? I mean, they kind of set it up with the whole story before, but
I'm not surprised. I think that's the right move. Like, Mark Briscoe is just evergreen. He'll always be over. He's super charismatic. He can go with anybody. Great guy to throw out there first.
Yeah. I was, out of everybody, he was my last one to win, but it just seems like no matter what, Tony finds a way to get him to win. I don't get it. I love it, but I don't get it.
Briscoe's he's ever a consistency. I don't know. I can't even think of words.
It's the perfect way to book him, though, because you can throw him out there with anybody, and there's always that sliver of doubt in your mind that he might actually win this. Like when he randomly beat Kyle Fletcher in the Continental Classic.
Absolutely. Fletcher throws out somebody right now, Gabe Kidd, right? I think that these gauntlet matches are going to be just wild. I think both of them are going to have some surprises in them. I am all for it. I love this format, and I am so happy that we get a men's and a women's casino gauntlet. Okay. Now,
what I'd like to see for the men's casino gauntlet? Because we had during the Hurt Syndicate stuff, MJF announced he's got a match next week to qualify for the gauntlet. I want to see the the finish happen during his entrance.
Oh,
I think that's such a perfect spot for MJF on his quest towards the title. His music hits, and as he's sprinting down the ring, someone gets pinned.
Yeah.
That's a fun little story thing to throw in there for MJF.
That is good. I'd love to see Jay White. Is Jay White remotely close to being back, Jamie? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything. I would love it, though.
I mean, I would not doubt you're going to have a big return. There's
one name I know for sure is very, very close. There's two. Eddie Kingston, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And then another part of the Bang Bang Gang.
All right, Juice Robinson.
Juice.
Yeah, Juice is
I've heard
ready.
Juice is cleared. Yeah.
And then Fletch, your question about the title, I've not seen anything saying it's for the title. So
it is for the title. It is.
Oh, it is. Okay, I didn't see that.
You might have been soured by the sweat of Jim Ross's brow, but we did mention that. Yeah, it is indeed for the TBS title.
Because I was looking, I think while you were looking, I can't.
Yeah, you were.
Darby's still on his way down, I think.
Still
from Everest, because he hit the top. It took him like 3 weeks to get to the top or whatever. It took him forever.
Yeah, then you just cough and drop off, and you just like show up at Dynamite next week. Isn't that how that works?
He's gonna skateboard down it.
I mean, it's Darby. I wouldn't put it past it.
If I know anything about Darby Allin, it's that he could somersault all the way down Mount Everest and like get up and be fine afterwards.
He's like Kick-Ass. Can just take a beat.
So, sandwich between the two 4-way matches for the Gauntlet #1 spot. You had a quick little Adam Cole promo. He challenges anybody in Don Cal's family. Yeah, there's that. I know. Nobody likes face Adam Cole. I get it.
That being said, it was announced that Josh Alexander accepted, and I'm down to see an Adam Cole Josh Alexander match.
No, the wrestling's not the issue. It's not the question. It's just
babyface Adam Cole does nothing for nobody.
Yeah, he's gonna give you good matches. I mean, yeah, he's back in full wrestling stride, 100%. And he's still got the chops to talk. So, but again, you got a crowded ass picture of too many people. Anyway, women's match: Thunder Rosa, Athena on Dynamite. Yes, please. Will Nightingale, and probably the most interesting woman in the women's division right now, Kris Statlander. I have been eating up the extra things they've been doing, the Wheeler Yuta stuff. Last week, she bumps into Jon Moxley, who gives her a somewhat awkward pep talk. And this was an excellent match too. Like I said, the men's match was my match of the night, but this is right behind it. The storytelling they put in here was also really good. Statlander does end up winning with a little assist from Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta. Kris Statlander en route to the Death Riders, yay or nay?
Dog. She's already done this before. This is a baby redemption arc here. So obviously the play is for Marina to go against Willow one-on-one, probably more than likely at All In, right? And Wheeler Yuta's gonna try to interfere. Here comes Stat and looks like she's gonna align with him. And next thing you know, she clotheslines Wheeler, pounce 1, 2, 3. They hug it out and they're best friends again. I think we all know how this is gonna end.
I don't think we get Willow and Marina one-on-one at All In.
Okay.
I think we more likely than not we get both in the women's casino gauntlet. And we get a moment with them to tie all this up there. I also don't think we get Statlander to the Death Riders because I think the Death Riders are going to lose people rather than gain people going forward after All In.
I agree.
Like, it's time to start whittling that down. Just kind of let that story coast out from Mox losing the title. I got to disagree with you a bit, JJ, though. I personally have not been eating up the Statlander stuff. And I think I've found my problem with Statlander is she never seems to have any agency of her own. Like the entire time she's been in AEW, she's been following someone around or getting betrayed by like she just kind of seems clueless. And that's the problem with doing that with her here is that you kind of did nothing with her outside of losing 2 matches to Mercedes over the last 9 months or so. It seems like a weird time to just like start pushing her towards it. I think her winning and getting entering the Casino Gauntlet is perfectly fine, like solid choice, but I'm not sure that this is the beginning of some like impending grand push of Kris Statlander.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying there, and yes, the record speaks for itself, and no, she has not been the best, like, outside of the ring on the mic and any of that stuff, which is why stuff with Stokely worked so well and other things that they abandoned way too quickly. But they definitely have faith in her as a member of the roster, just put out there in, big moments. She was the one to end Jade Cargill's streak, right? Jade Cargill was on her way going to be done and gone, but it could have been anybody, but it was her, right? And to a big pop. If you want to have Marina go in her own path, I feel like you have to give it some teeth in some fashion, right? And maybe the whole like angsty rebel. Okay, I know this is a deep cut, but stay with me for a second, okay? So, guys, remember when Ruby Soho debuted? Hey, Ruby. And I made mention. Hey, we're throwing it back, man. We're pulling all the stuff out. And I made mention, Jamie, remember this, that I wanted to see Ruby do the whole like fuck everybody punk, like angsty sort of like, one woman against the world bit, right? Because she kind of had that a little bit near the, when they were at the peak of the Riot Squad when she was like breaking Jim Neidhart's glasses in front of Natalie and stuff like that, right? And of course, they never went that path, but I wouldn't mind them going in that, taking that idea behind Statlander. You don't want to be my friend. You don't want to redeem me. You guys are just after me. You're trying to manipulate me. Fuck all y'all. Become this like sort of like nihilistic individual on her own, right? Maybe it won't work, but maybe it might strike a chord and be the thing that actually makes her a legitimate standalone character. That's my thought.
So I couldn't disagree more.
I know you can't.
So here's the thing. Stat will never be the women's world champion, especially in her current iteration. Austin hit the nail right on the head. Like, she's kind of clueless. Like, she has to be attached to somebody. She's more of a follower than a leader, and her current persona and everything they've done with her, like, people like her. People think, oh yeah, she's great, but they're not like, oh man, she's awesome. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. People like them, but they're not like the best. We all know who the best is, and it's not them, but we still really like them and we really appreciate them because they have done a lot for AEW. But just right now, they're just not it. Maybe if they get a repackage like an Arch Manning, then they would become the thing, right? Like, I'm actually giving you flowers here and kind of giving you a good thing, so go with me. But, the same with her. Like, she needs some kind of serious repackaging. In order to do that, she needs a cool off. She needs to go away for a little bit, come back hard, heavy. You might be able to get her something. She does need a mouthpiece. She needs something like that. But this iteration of her will never be champion.
2 words, counterpoint. Becky Lynch.
That's
Becky
different.
was a mid-card steampunk, member. She was the 4th member, basically, of... Bayley was massive in NXT, right? Charlotte was Charlotte, okay? And, Becky was kind of like... Nobody believed in her. She talked weird. She couldn't do this. She had this, fun, gimmicky, steampunky thing, and it was whatever, right? And then she went on a different level. And a feud with a former friend is the one that spawned that. And she created a new persona that was completely off the wall. And she became the biggest thing in women's wrestling. And still one of the most relevant out there, despite your proclivities towards her now, right? I'm not saying that she can do it and will do it. I'm saying it's worth a swing. Give it a try. It's not too far.
Counterpoint to that, though, Becky Lynch got over as a bit of an underdog. And Statlander is in a weird spot where she's not looked at as an underdog, because we all know Statlander can go. She's gotten some big wins.
Okay, touche.
There's just not the character side to push there. And that was the big part of the rise of Becky Lynch, is she was the one left behind. And people like to root for an underdog. But again, no one's really ever going to look at Kris Statlander as an underdog. Kris Statlander is the textbook definition of a good hand. And I say that as positively Bob Ross energy drink as possible. Because I appreciate a good hand. Someone that's going to go out there and deliver every time you ask them to.
Okay,
They're not going to be the star. They're not going to be the top. but damn, are they reliable, and they always put out something great. I think that's what Statlander is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I agree with Jamie. They'll have to do something drastically different, and I don't know if there's anything drastically different they can do to really make Kris Statlander a top star.
Well, no matter what the path they eventually land on to get there, we just spent 12 minutes talking about Kris Statlander after a match.
Yeah. I mean, the talent's there in the ring, for sure.
They at least have, even if this is not your proclivity for her, they at least have inserted enough to get the fans at least talking about this. So, if nothing else, it just raises more stakes into a different storyline in the women's division. Yay!
I think the best thing for Kris Statlander is for her and Willow to get the first run with those women's tag titles when they show up.
That'd be the best thing ever.
That makes the most sense. Easily, yes.
Unfortunately, it comes at the expense of Willow not becoming AEW Women's Champion or AEW World Champion. I'd watch Willow beat Mox or Hanger any day of the week because Willow's the best. But I think that's a good story for both of them if you're not going to put Willow in that top spot.
I mean, and that's the weird thing about it, because think post All In, right? You're gonna have the belts. Either you're gonna have the belts where they are, or you're gonna have Mercedes with all the gold. Okay. With that being said, who else do you have that can go up against for either belt? Mercedes, because Mercedes is going to still be heel, right? What faces do you have? You brought Tekla in, she's a heel. You brought Megan in, she's a heel, right? Athena, if you bring her up, she's a heel right now, right? You have Willow as face. You have Stat as this kind of in-betweener, right? But she'd be face. You got Mina, who's on, Tony's side. Where are your faces at?
You'll have Hater back before too long.
Hopefully.
But you kind of just...
What have you done with Hater?
You just had her lose at Double or Nothing in the Owen final, so you got to re-hit her back up. Right. And it's also, if Mercedes does win, and I wish I wasn't saying this, but how do you not go to a rematch for Tony?
I mean...
Like, you've got no one else positioned to come up next. Tony's been on a dominant run. If she loses, why would she not get the classic rematch? And now you're just extending that even longer with no title opportunities for the rest of your women's division. That's why Mercedes has to lose.
I'm with you. I just don't know where you go with that. And I think that... And my thought is too, Jamie, is that, in part and parcel is that you built Tony into such a star, nobody can really touch her. The closest you can get is a big name like Mercedes, right?
So we all know Mercedes is the play. I mean, that's all there is to it, because then you get the heel with the belt, and then it's all about the chase for you, somebody you build. Cool. Who we gonna build next? Willow, right? Wrong, because they're gonna get the first run with the tag titles. Okay, who else can you work up and get a run up there with? Maybe it is Willow in the long run, but maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's an Elena Black. Maybe it's Jamie Hayter. Maybe Thekla goes face and it's just this punk rock badass chick who I think people will eat up if they did that. Like, she wasn't necessarily a heel; she's just a badass. Because so far.
So put Thekla in my like fuck everybody route.
That's the way she's acting right now, right?
I mean, she's in a punk band, literally. She's a guitarist.
And she's almost got as many abs as Jay White, so there's that. Almost.
I'd be down for that. We shall see, though. We got options. We're getting a women's gauntlet match at All In. Thank the Lord. All right.
And then rumor has it they're going to announce the tag team titles right after All In.
So they're probably going to culminate it.
One of our favorites, a good old fashioned tournament.
Oh yeah, probably going to be an 8-team tournament, right? Yeah.
They should make it big. They should have like a 16-team tournament. Make it like last a while.
So you've got, I mean, you're building up to Forbidden Door before you get to All Out. Why not make the women's tag tournament a little bit more international?
I'm in.
Yeah. Remember during the pandemic when they had that tournament that was like a Japanese side and the American side? That's how we
That's when
found
we fell in love with
Maki
Ito. Yeah.
That would be
Literally fell in love with Makita right then.
Yeah, because we were like, we don't know any of these women. Let's research them. And we broke them up, and I had the pleasure of being the one to research Makita. I go, okay, Jamie, I think we found our favorite wrestler.
I mean, very first Twitter post to everybody. Hello, motherfuckers. It's like, yep, that's my favorite. Literally,
Jamie,
you took that.
Jamie was sold. He goes, done. All right. So, speaking of tag teams. Oh, did we finish it? Oh, man.
Drink it. Oh.
Just around an hour. Ooh. I hope to God you pee like fluorescent green or something crazy. That'd be great.
This will make me stop sending you Sasquatch stuff, guys.
No, nothing will make you stop sending us Sasquatch stuff from you. All right. So speaking of tag teams, we have the first father-son tag team vying for gold in AEW in the Patriarchy. Quick little video there. I love that. And then you get a quick little FTR promo because they're really hurt that the Outrunners came to defend them as they were accosting random faces. And, so they want to talk on Collision face to face. So that's what you're doing with FTR. You asked earlier. Oh, there you are, Austin.
That's the state of the tag team division. Just, what are we doing here?
But how good is the main event picture going? Speaking of main events, Adam Hangman Page in the main event tonight against Beast Mordos. 2 weeks in a row, Beast Mordos in the main. How about that?
Where I got that?
Just saying. I love me Beast Mordos, though. I love to see him there. And it was a fun match. Good match. Hangman gets the win, of course. Then you get a blackout. And then you get the Young Bucks positioned with Hangman Page in the ring. Give him an EVP trigger. Out comes Mox and Death Riders. Stop me if you heard this before. They're choking out. And then out comes the Ops and Osprey. And your typical bad guys, good guys, chaos in show. Which, it never goes out of style. But, yeah, that's how you know. That's how we go.
It was a nice little beat in the build to All In. I like all the extra people getting involved, making it seem like dethroning Mox is a big deal, and Hanger's got people in AEW that are going to stand up for him. Like, it's a fun part of the story.
It's such a big throwback to the NWO days. I can't hate it. It's predictable, yes, but nothing wrong with that.
The payoff in Texas is going to be huge.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. And I don't want any spoilers from you guys because I'm working when all
I'm going to be at the ball field most of the day.
Okay, all right. So I'm not watching it till later on. I'm watching the replay of it that night when I get home from work. So, Austin, no spoilers for us who are doing things. Okay.
I'll try and remember.
We'll just send flames and I'll don't worry, I'll just send my usual 4 live to you probably 3 to 4 times, even if I win or not.
I'm just gonna send it randomly just because.
If I do forget and text something that happened on the show, then you'll be like, by the way, we're not watching, and then I'll remember. But it'll be fine.
No, we're good. All right. So
sending incorrect, like things that didn't happen, and be like, oh my God, did y'all just see? And then just make up some random bullshit. And then you go back and watch it later, and you're like, this motherfucker.
You're like, where's the Great Khali at? I don't understand. What's going on?
Did y'all see the Repo Man was in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal?
That would be amazing. What if Mark Briscoe came out dressed like the Repo Man? Let's go.
That'd be
my shows up
tonight.
She might. I mean, she's she posts like traveling, flying pictures. Her kid's what, like 6 months now? 8 months? I don't know how old kids have to be before you leave. I don't know any of that stuff, but who knows? All right, so that's Dynamite. We do want to talk a little bit, outside of the world of AEW. Jamie, we've talked this discourse quite a long time about the internet wrestling community and proclivities, especially as it comes to, those who are stands for one or the other being hell-bent about how much their side of the fence has the greenest grass, right? Okay. And there's been a lot of chatter from one of those sides lately with some additions that have come over from AEW into the world of the Fed. I know you want to talk a little bit about the state of that, though. How do you want to approach?
Tribalistic people are going to tribalistic. They're just going to be tribalistic. Let's just call it for what it is. But I will say this. From the discourse I've been reading, too, is there's been a lot of reflection. Man,
Okay.
maybe AEW has not been that bad. Because they have all these stars that we take and then we do stuff with them, or they fumbled them, and next thing you know, like they're a big star for me. Woo! What's Ethan Page doing right now? He's got a title, right? And what's Ricky Saints doing?
Okay.
We knew that they'd be stars. It's not. That's the thing. If you're an idiot, you know they're gonna be a star. Aleister Black was always wanting to go back. He never wanted to leave in the first place. Fine. Happy for him. Rusev shot down every damn creative thing possible. Okay. Now they're doing mid-card stuff with him. Congratulations. Happy for him. How's Penta and Ray Phoenix doing?
So there's two different answers to that question. I would say Penta's still doing very well. Penta's getting featured. Penta is working a lot of bigger names. Ray Phoenix, not as much.
But we knew that would happen because...
I mean, Ray Phoenix debuts as a fill-in on a pay-per-view at Mania. Wasn't it Mania?
Yeah.
It's the second match ever in WWE.
Yeah, which is amazing, right? And this is Ray goddamn Phoenix. Like, we have swooned over so many of his matches, it's not even countable, right? And then he does some pop-up stuff in NXT briefly, but he's not in NXT, and then this is one of the most talented luchadors I have ever seen in my life, right? And it's not like he can't talk English. He can communicate well. It's just nothing. And I understand why Penta's getting somewhat of all the names. He's probably the one that's getting the most push. Okay. Ethan Page aside, right? Ethan Page, I'm talking about the main roster. Okay. I understand why Penta's getting it. I have no idea why Ray isn't as well. I don't get it. I know it's a different type of wrestling, and maybe therein lies the problem for some of these people. And, the discourse is it's like, oh, maybe Tony Khan's not as bad a booker as we had said because, again, Rusev's doing mid-card things, right? Aleister Black is doing stuff of I don't know what anymore, right? And Ray Phoenix.
I'm willing to go on the hill right now that, speaking of Tony Khan, he's the best booker right now, period. The best storyline in all of wrestling. There's the top two best storylines in all of wrestling are housed within AEW. Timeless Tony Storm, and of course Adam Hangman Page's story. By far and away, the top two stories going on right now. I'd fight anybody on that.
I mean, I think AEW, when it's hitting its stride, which it has been for most of this calendar year, and I think when it is, it has to be the better story because they're trying to sell pay-per-views. They're trying to fill houses. WWE is a TV show, and they are more than that. They are just a content generation machine. They're more worried about social media impressions, stuff you can clip and share. The longer term stuff doesn't really have to be that good or make sense because you'll just get to a big moment you'll build, and then you'll just hindsight it and just be like, oh yeah, we were playing this the whole time. And they can just keep carrying on. They are what they are. AEW's got to be better because they need to hold your attention more than WWE does. I think anyone that assumed anyone jumping ship from AEW was going to be some megastar and get some huge push was fooling themselves. Like, WWE has their top guys, and their top guys are who they are. You're not breaking into that. I think Penta's getting used great. I think Rey Fenix is going to just keep doing what he's doing until they kind of run out of juice on the Penta singles run, and you'll just get him tagging over there. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just that's the thing. And that's where the discourse and the reflection I've been reading too. Like some people say that Tony Khan's a terrible booker, but I've also seen hey, these guys are actually really good. We should be paying attention more. And like there is a shift on the internet wrestling community. Yes, the tribalistic people are going to still be tribalistic, whatever. But we could have this same conversation about Swerve Strickland and some of these others who were in WWE who they completely missed the bag on. And look at Swerve being one of the biggest stars out there right now. And like, dude, like you could say that about anybody. I don't hold too much in that. It's just like some people know how to use people better. Some people are in a position where they are just built to be used in that machine. Ricky Starks was built to be in the WWE machine. Like he is just built for it. Yeah. And more power to him. And I hope he does well. I always cheer him on. Same with Balake Monroe. I feel like she's going to do very well over there.
And Will Ospreay would never do well in WWE.
Never. Not built for it.
I mean, I think ideally, in a perfect world, talent you want to see should be doing great wherever they are. Like, I would love it where if it was kind of like it was back when WCW and WWF were both going head to head, where you just had people every couple of years were jumping ship just to do something new, wrestle new people. That kept it more interesting. But I don't think it has to be oh, you got to get them out of there. They're just getting buried. Or we got to get them over here. They're going to be a huge star. No, they're not. Like,
they are who they
people
are.
Ever going to transcend what they are from one place to another. If they had that kind of star power, the one place would move heaven and earth to keep them there. Ultimately, outside of the top handful of men or women, like everyone else is replaceable. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just go somewhere new, tell some new stories to different people. Like that should be a perfectly reasonable thing instead of becoming an arguing point on the internet because someone's moving to another company.
Yeah. Well, other side of the coin is too that apparently what rumblings say Tony's being like, and Jamie brought this up too as well, is that, Tony's being a little more selective on, not just grabbing somebody who was previously in, AEW. I think that you look at some of the signings he's had recently, because this year how many people has he signed? Like
from WWE or just in general?
In general, like 8 people, maybe, right? Yeah, like Kevin Knight, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Thekla. I'm trying to think of more. I mean, somebody give me more.
I think Megan Bain had been signed for a while, but she really debuted this year.
Right. Josh Alexander. Okay.
Josh Alexander. I feel like there's got to be.
That's the thing.
A couple
harder
more.
because it's like there hasn't really. It's not like the days when it's like 35 people he signed and 20 of them came from WWE and so.
Yeah. So far this year, Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, Megan Bain, Josh Alexander.
And Thekla.
And Thekla. But I mean,
additions.
it's June, so you're a little under one a month, which is a good pace.
It's not a bad pace. It's also, and you look at all the people that he signed. Speedball Mike Bailey, yes, AEW, right? Josh Alexander, same thing, right? You know, Thekla, 100%, right? Megan Bain, same thing. Although she was kind of already signed originally, and then the whole right. But you know, I think Megan Bain could have done WWE.
I think she would do very well there.
I think she would, but I don't know if Thekla could. I mean, I think Thekla could, but she specifically wanted to be in AEW, I know as well. So, hey, there's places for people. And, yeah, it's just interesting to see. So, it's a good discourse. We'll keep an eye on it as it goes. All right. We're a little over 2 weeks away. Go ahead.
Just to put a pin in all that really quick, of all the people jumping ship and going back and all that, I would remiss if I didn't mention the greatest moment we got from any wrestler who jumped to AEW then back to WWE, and that was the Rusev Eddie Kingston Redeem These Nuts match, which was exquisite. Your nuts have been redeemed.
Redeem these nuts.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh my god,
that's one of my favorite stories in AEW history was the Rusev Eddie Kingston feud.
I loved the whole Redeemer story arc for him. Just 100%.
It was so good.
First time it happened, I remember on the show here. I think this was before you were on the show. I remember because I asked Jamie, he's like, "Is he feuding with God now?" I think he's feuding with God, and yes, he was. He was feuding with God. Oh, so good. All right, boys, we're about a little over 2 weeks away. Okay, so we're starting to kind of fill in all the gaps. Okay, we got a couple casino gauntlet matches going in. Tag picture, look, this is going to happen. We got the other tag match that, you know, we all knew was going to happen, more or less official. You know, trying to get everything else in order. All in is going to be it's probably just going to be a bonkers ass show, right? This is definitely their WrestleMania, right? We're saying this is definitely their WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
There wasn't any sign pointing, but there was definitely a sign staring.
Next year, they're going to start doing the sign point.
Yes, they'll point.
On a side note, for those of you in the Kansas City area, maybe you haven't seen, Central States Wrestling has been putting out a lot of information on Twitter. Again, we are coming up just about a month away. So July 26th, Saturday, doors at 7, first bell, doors at 6, first bell at 7. The Abdullah Shriners Hall up there, Metcalf and I-35, basically, for those of you familiar with Kansas City. For those of you not at CSW Wrestling on the internets. But no, their show's coming up here. It's a great place to go watch wrestling. Jamie can attest to that. It's where we saw our first NWL show, where we saw the Besties winning a Chicago street fight with a brick taped to their knee for the finisher.
Yeah, against Strider and where were they? The Foundation. That's what they were.
The Foundation, yeah. And by all accounts, this seems to be like kind of a changing of the guard show. So kind of a farewell to Strider as part of CSW and kind of usher in the new. So enjoyable time. So will be had by all. First row is already sold out, but tickets are available right now. Get your tickets. It's gonna be a good time. Saturday, July 26th. Before that, I believe we have some Heartland wrestling, right?
We do, and I just realized because earlier I was joking about spoiling All In. Heartland Championship Wrestling is live here in Wichita Saturday, July 12th. So I will likely be watching on my phone from the locker room and then come home, put it on the TV, and give it a proper rewatch. But yes, I will also not be keeping up fully like y'all are, unfortunately.
I
But
mean,
the show will be great. So if you're in the Wichita area, come out to Harley Championship Wrestling. Start all in late with all of us on your own, but like in spirit with all of us, and come see some pro wrestling.
Depending on what time my games are on Saturday, because I'm literally flying back from Antigua that the 11th, or I guess it'd technically be the 12th at like 1:00 in the morning, and then I have games. Depending on how they are, I might try to convince the wife we need to go to Wichita.
Should HCW's a good time. It's a fun night of pro wrestling.
Absolutely.
Wait. So you're gonna be in Antigua, fly back early morning, softball, and then tell the wife, "Hey, let's just keep this ball rolling. Let's go down to Wichita right now."
I mean, as long as I got Bob Ross energy drink in me, yeah. Of course.
Did you buy more than one of those?
No. One was more than enough for me.
Okay. Well, we learned some things today. Specifically, maybe buy your energy drinks at a QT. At your local grocery store, perhaps. But go out and support Heartland Championship Wrestling CSW. Fountain City is coming back as well in August. We will get more into that as we get a little bit further into the summer. Try and stay cool out there, boys. It is hot pretty much damn near everywhere. Drink lots of water. And we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. If this is your first time here, again, welcome. Thank you for giving us some of your time. We appreciate you. Give us a subscribe down below. Give us a big thumbs up. Follow us on them internets at Total Spotfest. We will see you next week. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got 5 words for you. Bob Ross energy drink. No.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.